One day I decided to have my hand at the bluelock Reddit. When the new chapter released today, I saw a comment that somewhat disheartened me because it was a knack and a lack of understanding of one of my favorite characters, and that was Hiori. A Redditor says that I'm a bit sad about one thing, Hiori. In the end, he's just Isagi's sidekick, defending with him, frustrated that Kaiser got the ball and not them, and immediately passing to Isagi. I really like the fact that he was neutral and played for himself, and I thought he could be a great inspiration for Ness, but that won't be the case. I understand that Hiori claimed that if Isagi were to get worse than he is now as a striker, then he would discard him. But I think there's a lot more to that sentence than thought of, and that goes down to chapter 241. In chapter 241 of Blue Lock, Hiori says that I want to produce the world's best striker. I want to play soccer with someone who can sense my world's best passes. Hiori's not claiming that he wants to be the best midfielder like Sai. He's claiming that he wants there to be a striker who can level up with him, who can fight alongside with him, who can receive his passes that he claims to be some of the world's best. Because as Hiori's growing, he needs a striker who can understand him. Now, he did say he would discard Isagi, but the question is, why would he? Isagi is doing great right now, and Kiora even confirms to Hiori that Isagi was the right choice. No matter who Kiora passed to, they would have scored. So that means that Isagi still isn't a bad striker. If anything, he's improved. So why would Hiori neglect him? Why would he get rid of him? Hiori then says, that's how I feel now, so I'm gonna leave all the unambitious losers behind. Well, Isagi's one of the most ambitious characters in the show. He's always adapting, always learning, always understanding. He's solving the field like a puzzle. And that's something that even Hiori somewhat struggles to do. This is why he needs Isagi to kind of talk out like how things work, how flow works, ego types, things like that. He needs to delve into that with Isagi because Isagi's really the one person that delves into that type of stuff the most. Now, there's a couple other things. Of course, Hiori doesn't like Kaiser. Now, of course, Hiori could just pass to him if he's in a better spot than Isagi, but the question is, why would he? If he hates Kaiser's guts, he just needs to wait until Isagi gets into a better position. Then he'll just do that. Because why would he support someone that he is actively against? Because how is he going to play soccer with someone who cannot idealize what he can? He wants someone who can sense his world's best passes. And in order to make a reflex x reflex, flow x flow chemical reaction, you need to have someone who can understand and idealize your top performance. And with Kaiser and Hiori being such different thinking people, how could they truly link up together? Now, the last thing I want to discuss is that before Hiori, there was a person, well, technically there was two, but there was a person who believed in him more than anything else, and that was Isagi. Isagi didn't have expectations for Hiori. He knew that he could do the job. He knew that he was the right man. That's why he picked them. It's not that Isagi doubted that he would be able to do it. It's that Isagi knew that he could perform what he needed. The only problem was, Hiori did not believe that himself. It wasn't until Hiori unlocked his own ego that he understood what he needed to do to win the match. If we look at chapter 239, we see that Hiori says that he's not going to play soccer with Isagi anymore. But then he also says that if you can't figure out my passes, then be prepared for me to drop you. It's basically, I could be completely wrong about this, but this might be speculation. But in my opinion, it's how when Isagi's on the field, he's a whole different person. Hiori is telling Isagi that if he doesn't get his stuff together, then he will not play with him. He will not play for him. But the thing is, if we look at Isagi during the PXG match, he's playing well. If anything, he's outdoing Kaiser right now. To put all the pieces together, how can Hiori say that he will leave Isagi at a moment's glance when he starts sucking, when he's not that good of a striker anymore, when he can't understand his passes, but then go on to say in like 2 chapters later that he wants to produce soccer with someone else. He wants to create the world's best striker. He wants to challenge a striker. So what's really going on here with Hiori? The thing that's going on with Hiori is instead of being the one having expectations placed on him, he's the one placing expectations. He already knows how good he is. He already understands how to read the field. He was born to be trained at a young age. And so now, instead of having all these expectations placed upon him, he's placing expectations upon Isagi. Telling Isagi that he wants to play with him, he will play with him. But if he can't do what he expects out of him, then he will find someone new. He will find a new striker to produce. And so far as we've seen in the story, it seems like Hiori is really willing to bet all of his expectations on Isagi. But we'll see how far, and we'll see in the future if Hiori is truly the one that will produce Isagi as the world's best striker.